So welcome back to another episode. Welcome to a game chat with Rob Man. He took the bus over today.
I did. I actually took myself and my little scooter on the bus.
And he came all the way over here. It's very nice for a very important reason.
Yes.
What is the reason?
Because you're going to give me $100.
Oh, geez.
No, I'm sorry.
Where's that 50 going? Where's that 50 going?
I think I'm down to a quarter
Hey,
already.
can I give you this instead?
No.
No, you don't want Resident Evil 8?
I've already got it.
Oh, there you go. So we're here to talk about Resident Evil 8
Yes.
because we haven't had a chance to sit down. We both finished the game, and we want to chat about it because I want to hear all your opinions.
Oh, yeah.
So why don't we start with what you think of the game, and for the beginning, non-spoilers.
Non-spoilers.
And then we'll say, hey, we're getting into spoilers
Yes.
and all that. What are your expectations going into 8?
Okay.
Yeah, I know you did 7, and you did all the DLC and everything you could do in that game, which is awesome.
Yep. It was so awesome.
Yeah.
I actually thoroughly loved 7.
Right.
I know that, and I've had a few people say to me, like, well, you didn't like 4 because it wasn't zombies per se.
Right, the European angle thing you didn't like. Yeah.
Well, more so that it wasn't zombies, that it was
The zombies,
parasites inside their head and all the rest of that with it, right?
Yeah.
But the way that 7 was handled, the way that it was a new threat,
Yeah.
and the way that it was also done in that first-person perspective, that really kind of drove home the claustrophobia to me, really putting you in that position. Loved it. So when they said that 8 was going to not only continue the story of Ethan Winters,
Yeah.
but it would be done in the same style, I was excited.
Right, and were you okay with the first-person perspective in 7?
I did. I loved it.
You
Yes.
did like, yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. I was just happy that we got to return to survival horror. So I was
Yes.
like, okay, I'll embrace this. Yeah, you mentioned last time they probably did that for the VR angle, which we totally get.
Yes.
And so they had to continue it on in 8 because they kind of started in 7 to kind of change it.
Yes.
Midway. So, but you were happy with the angle of yeah.
Absolutely. And I think also because when Konami put out that PT demo,
Oh yes.
everybody got a taste for this first-person horror idea, and it was amazing.
Yes.
I loved it. And then it just got completely shut down, and everything that happened, we all know the Devil Club won't open up that wound again.
Yes.
This gave us a taste of what a full survival horror game in that perspective would look like, and I thought it just excelled.
I think they got it right. They could have
Boom.
absolutely not and just made it like a first-person shooter and you just shooting enemies. More of like a Resident Evil V idea, which is shooting zombies over and over and stuff like that. More of a shooter experience rather than the survival horror and managing your equipment and all that. All the stuff that we like about Resident Evil.
Exactly.
So you go into 8. I'm so looking forward to this.
I go into 8. Now, first of all, I had no idea, I really watched very little of trailers and things like this.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So I went in almost completely blind.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it starts, so calm, at home, domestic bliss.
Yeah.
And then instantly just slaps you in the face.
Yeah.
So brutally.
Yeah.
And then basically...
And that's in the first 5 minutes of the game.
First 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I mean...
And then you end up outside this village.
Yeah, in Europe
In the snow in Europe. And wow, the way that they opened up. So I know that Resident Evil traditionally is inside buildings, really enclosed, claustrophobic kind of thing, where the village is an open air and more expansive and a little sandboxy.
A little, we talked about that, and you had mentioned it before I played 8. You're like, oh, I heard it's more sandboxy. And it is and it isn't.
It is, that's exactly right. It is and it isn't.
Kind of like 5 and all those games, that it kind of is and isn't. You see the illusion of it at times.
Basically, the village acts as a giant building. Because you cannot leave the village.
No.
Right?
No.
And there are only certain areas you're allowed access to at certain times.
Yeah.
But it is still outdoors.
Yeah.
So they managed to somehow harness that claustrophobia.
Yes.
In an outdoor environment. Which to me was amazing.
Now, okay, before we get into it, did you find it as scary as number 7?
In some cases, I don't. You know what? No.
And that's the right answer, because I was reading that the producers that created 7, they listened to the feedback of the fans, and the fans said this is too scary. Some people,
well,
I don't, but that's what we like. When I was,
scary.
and I only thought about it when I finished 8. I looked at it and I was like, 8 has a few creepy moments. Like we know
Yes.
the one down the hallway. That's just a little bit weird, right?
That really bothered me. Actually, for me, that really bothered me.
Well, especially that I've got a little baby myself. I mean, that's all I'll say. I was like, that's a little weird for me. But
king of understatement. That's a little weird.
That's a little weird for me. But looking at that, that's kind of a little bit eerie, a little bit strange, but not the scare. Like the creepiness. 7 was really brutal.
Well,
when you look back at it,
I think partly because 7 played so much on. There's something about movies like Wrong Turn and The Hills Have Eyes and stuff like that.
Yes.
That sort of crazy backwoods. We know where I'm going with I don't want to be too overtly offensive to folks. But I mean, okay, there's something about that.
Like Deliverance.
Yes, or Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that vibe was very put in there on purpose. And then you mix with that, those closed environments, the fact that everything looked dirty,
I know,
and moldy, and gross. Musty, and gross.
Yeah. And it kind of makes you feel sick all the way through it in the best way possible. We're not complaining. We love this.
It was brilliant.
Yeah, we loved that.
The Village, it did take a departure from that. I think for me, it was in reading all of the notes that had been left behind.
Yeah.
That's where the creepiness was, in the background of this. In
that's really
how
cool.
the changes were wrought to this village and what caused them and why. And the kind of detachment from sanity that the major players slowly went through.
It's so interesting because when I went through it, I read a few of them here and there, and they added a bit, but I've always been one of those people that I read the notes, I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, yeah, I get it. And I should. No, I'm talking about every game. I get to these little notes. There's always like so many notes in so many games, and I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, I know where I'm at with the story, okay, this is this. I kind of briefly go over them, move past them, but I should really soak that stuff in a little bit more at times. But I still enjoyed it, like I love the game.
Yes.
So you got an extra dimension by doing that.
When it comes to Resident Evil games, and games in general, RPGs, I'm the guy that takes like 4 times longer than he should to finish the game.
Yeah, you do.
Because I look for every little nugget. Like, I'm on my 2nd playthrough right now.
Yeah.
I love this game so much.
Yeah.
And I just unlocked an achievement called Bookworm that you find all of them.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
That's cool.
And I've found all of the treasures. I've managed to build all of the multi-piece ones.
Wow.
I've done I keep going back and exploring and trying to find. At some point, I'm going to try and do, and I did for the mansion. Mm-hmm. I found everything. That map was all blue when I left.
Yeah.
Every room was explored.
Yeah, I pretty much went through the entire mansion for sure. I wasn't going to leave that untouched.
So, and I've mostly done that with the rest of it on this playthrough.
Yeah.
There are 1 or 2 places where I left something behind, but unfortunately now there are reasons why you can't go back to that.
Right.
But overall, I mean, the story I thought was brilliant.
Yeah.
I love the way that they're adding to the lore.
Yes.
And the way
that was started in 7 and the lore all the way through.
Well, yeah,
because
they've kind of explained connections to the like Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, and Umbrella, and now they've explained how that plays into what happened in 7, and how they're involved in that, how these different groups know each other, and I'm trying to be spoiler free, but like the lore in this game was incredibly deep, which
now,
impressed me.
I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to say, did you like 8 more than 7?
Oh,
I got to do it.
Wow. Yes.
Yes, for me as well.
Yes, I did actually.
And I liked 7, but I thought, what is it about 8 that kind of built upon it that made it better? I think it's, for me, it's that European setting.
Yes.
We're in this giant castle. We have, Lady D and her daughters, which are just, they're very entertaining.
I'm gonna be straight up honest.
Oh my God, here we go.
I am one of those guys who's obsessed with giant vampy monsters.
Well, yeah, I've got no problem with the character design at all. At all. and all that. But we have that kind of setting,
Yes.
and so this is kind of like vampire-ishness. No, listen, and then we got werewolf.
Yes,
and
I
so,
love
so we got Resident Evil, but we also have this like monsters, like these
Yes.
like, classic monsters from the good old days of moviedom.
Yes.
And that's what's kind of cool about it. I really like that, and it just comes together. And I think here, what do you think about this? If we kept doing, and I've said I wish we could go back to Umbrella a little bit more and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think if we did, it'd just be the same again. And I think Capcom is a bit ahead of me in what they like. Yeah, I know you kind of want that, but we're going to give you this, and then you go, oh, I know why you give me this, and this is a great idea.
Yes.
This is what I didn't expect, and it's kind of what I need. It's really interesting, right? It is fresh. In a way,
it is
Resident Evil, yeah.
And what I like with 8 is that they are now, because I mean, yes, going back to Umbrella, but for those that have followed the narrative, Umbrella was exposed,
Yeah.
and is now actively trying to fight against what they used to make.
It's so ridiculous.
But with that being said,
Yeah.
the lore in this game opens the possibility that there is something even deeper and farther back
It seems
that
like
they
so.
can now try and follow.
Well, I told you, I think I said this before,
Right.
I did a deep dive watching some videos explaining the origins of Umbrella.
Yeah.
You know, through fan theories and all this stuff, and, you know, written materials that are out there and all this stuff. And my brain started to melt, going, I can't keep all this together. I'm trying really hard. It's like trying to keep the Metal Gear Solid series together. I sometimes can do it, and other times I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Wait, I get it. Yeah, I get it. No, I don't. I have that kind of moment. And sometimes I have that with Resident Evil. But what I try to do is boil it down to the simplicity of it all.
Yes.
And all that. And yeah, you know, we've talked about it. Would it be great to be in a city again? And, you know, Raccoon City, and have the I hope in the next Resident Evil, and we're going to talk about some spoilers, that it is over the character
Yes.
again. I like that.
Yes, I like that too. Now,
But
don't get me wrong.
I'm not offended by the first person. I like that, but I am old school Resident Evil.
On the lead up to Resident Evil 8, I played all the way through the RE2 remake, the RE3 remake, and then RE7.
Yeah.
I love the over the shoulder. I love it.
Especially what they did with the remakes.
Okay.
Obviously, in the original, it was like pre-rendered backgrounds.
Yes,
You could fix camera angles.
The remakes were such beautiful games.
They nailed it.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. Perfect.
Yeah. We need a Code Veronica done that style. Could you imagine?
I would pass out. I would pass the out.
Yeah. Oh my God.
would
Code
lose it.
Veronica and that. Oh, you feel that's to come, don't you?
I can only hope.
I know.
Only hope.
I think they're doing Resident Evil 4. Unfortunately, because you're not the biggest fan of that. I love the game, but you know that might be the way to do it for you.
As things have gone, there were things about Resident Evil 4 that I thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like a core Resident Evil game at that time.
Right.
Now, with what they've done with 7 and 8,
Yeah.
with the way that they have now explored the mold.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm trying not to be spoilery.
How about we just get into
I
spoilers?
think that makes me have a better understanding of 4 and why they went that direction.
Yeah.
So I can actually credit 8 with making me appreciate 4 more than I used to.
Fascinating. Yeah.
Because I now also appreciate the European setting.
Yeah.
And it's almost as if they planted that purposely way outside the realm of the other Resident Evil games as like a little Easter egg. Then when you get to 8, you go, okay.
Fascinating.
Now I get it.
Yeah, they took the
Right.
series in a much bolder direction.
Yes.
They could have done the stupid John way. Keep it in Raccoon City.
It's Raccoon City 2.
It's Raccoon City 5. 7, 10, 20. We're still in Raccoon City, part 55.
We're now in Raccoon State.
Yeah,
It's gotten so big.
I just would keep on doing the same thing, but they decided to expand and go a different direction, which I think is paying off now. And as being a fan, is there any more you want to say in spoiler free before?
I'm ready to dive into spoilers.
Okay,
All right.
we're at spoilers right now. You've been warned.
So, if at this point you haven't played Resident Evil 8 and you don't want spoilers, we hope you enjoyed this game chat.
That's it.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, bye.
Bye!
But for everybody else, hi.
So-
Thanks for sticking with us.
So, I'm going to give you 5 more seconds to really decide.
Oh, they're gone. I saw
They're
saw
gone?
one guy. He's running out the back there.
Is he?
He's
Oh,
screaming.
geez.
Ah!
Yeah, I saw somebody with his fingers in his ear yelling, la 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 la.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
All right, okay.
Okay. What do you want to talk about spoilers? Do you want to talk about the big reveal?
Oh my god.
Dude!
Okay, I have questions.
Yeah.
I have questions.
I think we all have questions about
I have
that.
questions.
Yeah. So they do the big reveal. Do you want to say it? Because I want to hear your thing. That,
Who's made of mold?
yeah, the main character is made of mold.
Made of mold!
He's been dead the entire time, but he's back as mold.
Okay, now, here's my thing, okay? And this is spoiler Rama Marikvik, okay?
It's Ethan Winters we're talking about, by the way.
Ethan Winters, he did. He died at the start of part 7.
So when they're dragging him, he's gone.
He's
I know.
already dead. And when they cut off his hand, he was already dead at that point. That's why when they stapled it on, it worked
Well,
again.
didn't you think while we were playing 8 and he's like having fingers cut off and hands cut off, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and he just puts a bit of stuff on, and I'm like,
I wondered, but I was like, okay, well, maybe that stuff is like some kind of like stem cell magic,
yeah, I was kind of like,
fixie repair.
I was like, something's weird though.
But, yes.
My spider sense was going, this is weird.
Here's where I have a problem.
Okay.
Okay. Dude got his wife pregnant, but he's made of mold.
Well, that
This is my problem.
so that's interesting. So yeah, you're talking about Mia. It's all
Yeah.
part of the beginning. Who is actually like evil Mia, realistically.
Well,
right?
yeah, but that's not the Mia that he impregnated.
Right, exactly. That's a stand-in. I know.
But the bottom line is,
A mold.
dude fathered a child, but he's made of mold.
I know. So
Like all of
so,
him.
so what does that make the daughter? And so let's go right to the end because the exactly.
That's the. But my first question is, how did he get her pregnant if dude's made of mold?
because it.
I'm asking the hard
I
question.
think the mold bring. I'm. This is getting ridiculous talk here. The mold brings this person together in a molecular structure that makes him a human being again, but he still is mold. So if he gets his hands cut off, the mold kind of,
See, and we saw some of that with Mother Miranda. The
Yeah.
fact that I think what they were alluding to was the fact that he was special in the same way Mother Miranda was, in
You're
that
saying
she
that.
can reform herself.
Yeah.
But she's learned how to manipulate it where she can make herself look like anything. But he could his body would reform into him. No
Right.
matter how much damage, he could put it back on, fix it.
So yeah, there's some genetics thing going on there that he was able to father a child. If the mold was no good, if he's shooting blanks.
Well, you see, this is the thing. I'm like, dude's made of mold, but he can still
Yeah,
So
exactamundo.
that's kind of messed up.
I know.
So, but then, yes, what does that make Rose? What does that make her?
So we get to the end, and it was fascinating. They go, "This is the end of the father's story," and I'm like,
Yes.
"Okay, so we're done with Ethan Winters, I guess." So they say. So they say. So they say. Yeah, actually, I said it in my review from Red Letter Media. Nobody's ever really gone. But but at the end we jump forward into the future, and it's Rose, and it's like, and she's been monitored, and it's like, and is it going to be her story next?
Oh, I reckon.
Yeah.
But a couple of things. One, the reason Ethan Winters died was because that mega mycite
Right.
was destroyed, and it was as far as they told us, the central nexus of the mold.
Right.
It was what allowed it to continue to proliferate and to be alive. So when it was destroyed and Mother Miranda was destroyed, then Ethan Winters' body, which is all mold, falls apart, rots, and dies. Mm-hmm. But now, Rose is at least half.
Right.
Or at least is infused with
and the entire game is about Rose.
Yes,
And
trying to get her back.
Trying to get her back. Why do they have her? It's important. It's she's so special. So there's something about her.
So, what I gathered from that was the fact that Rose was not only also one of these hybrid molded that could reform and rebuild, but some of the notes indicated that the mold, that megamycite, holds the memories, knowledge. It's like a database of anything it's ever been in touch with.
Right.
And Mother Miranda wanted her daughter back, and Rose's body would make a perfect shell, but she could use the megamycite to put her daughter's soul in.
Good Lord, this stuff is
So,
like,
I mean, it's getting so deep.
so
So deep.
complex that even I
But
can comprehend all of that. when I was
what
playing it.
really popped my wig was during that post-credit scene when the one agent
Oh yes.
calls her Eve jokingly, and she loses at him, and she says, "I'll show you powers that even Chris doesn't know."
Yeah, I know. I was like,
And I was like, I got goosebumps. It's like, oh. So she's come up aware that she is whatever she is,
Yeah.
and aware of how to control it. And she's even hiding from them the extent of how powerful she is. Because remember, Heisenberg kept saying, she's so powerful.
Yeah.
She's got all these, she can grind Mother Miranda to dust and all this stuff. And I'm like, so now she's growing up.
Yeah. Well, she seems like she has a nice temperament.
Can you imagine a moody teenager with powers like that?
Oh, we'd all be dead.
Ah, that's it.
You know, so I like that, and we'll just be waiting another 4 years to find out. You know,
But will this game follow the first person, or will it be over the shoulder? I'm hoping. I gotta be honest. I kind of would if it's gonna be her as the main character.
Yeah, I agree.
And she's got these cool powers.
Yeah, I want
over the shoulder. I want to see the crazy stuff she's doing. Like,
Yeah.
I need that.
knowing, I'm talking on my ass here. I'm thinking in a sequel, we'll start off with another character's perspective,
Probably.
and then she'll come in, and then all of a sudden we'll be a part of that. They'll throw us for a loop. You don't want to be like, hey, I'm using this character Rose, I'm shooting everybody. No,
Now-
there'll be a little bit more of a twist on it, I'm sure.
Another thing that I was curious about and that I want to see more of is the fact that, again, with the spoiler territory we're in, Chris Redfield at the end of 7 revealed that he was actually working for Umbrella now.
Right.
Who have reformed and are trying to change and destroy all the organic weapons, right? He had worked for BSAA.
Yeah.
Now,
I gave Rob my shirt here.
so now here's my thing though. The soldiers from BSAA that showed up in the village during the climax.
Yeah, which is awesome. Well, awesome.
They
to see.
they
That's
later showed one of them with the gas mask off, and he had like the dark gray, slate gray skin like Mr. X and like the Tyrants.
right. It's kind of like more of an enhanced,
More of
kind
an
trooper.
enhanced
Yeah.
T-virus trooper.
Yeah.
So
It's really weird with the whole Umbrella thing and stuff like that.
So
and,
what's going on? Because now Umbrella's cleaned up, but now is BSAA becoming the next Umbrella Corp?
It's so interesting they're keeping that stuff so in the dark that you don't really know what's going on with the whole Umbrella stuff these days. It's almost like they're like, Umbrella's here, but here's our story.
Well, and I mean, Chris, again, with the lore, with the information that was available and that you could find, he took their elite strike force.
Yeah. Yeah.
Went incommunicado with the entirety of Umbrella. Even they were looking for him like, what is he doing? Why is he doing this? This could be a problem. But he just took off and was like, no, I got my own business.
This guy is so involved. It's so interesting starting off as being part of Raccoon Police Department and the direction he's gone in.
Yeah, to go to BSAA, to excel there, to almost take over there, then to go to Umbrella when they started cleaning up, run their elite strike force, and then he's basically made that elite strike force his own thing.
I just thought of something. What if in the future he becomes like a super, end boss? Could you imagine that?
You think he might pull a Wesker?
Taking a character that we all is a beloved character and making him.
They almost tried to make him a villain in this game though, by the way that he appeared to murder the wife, kidnap the baby.
Right. But you always knew he wasn't really that bad.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know throughout the game. What I loved was that I didn't.
Yeah.
And I questioned it.
Right.
Because every time Ethan showed up, he was like, you're out of your depth and you don't know what you're doing and I'm taking care of this and blah, I know it's your daughter, but I'm blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And yet, who's the one that actually managed to do most of it?
Yeah.
Wasn't Chris.
Yeah, that end sequence, wasn't that good? I enjoyed it so much.
What, playing as Chris?
Yeah, it was so awesome.
Oh, God, that was awesome.
Like, you got so much ammo and you're just gunning. And you got so many, werewolf guys, so many...
There's like heads are popping, limbs are flying off. Oh.
I loved every second of it, and I'm like, I thought this is the perfect place to have action. We've had survival horror through the whole thing, and now let's let loose. And it's almost blowing off some steam. It's so tense all the way through it. My God, some of the enemies, those helicopter guys, and
oh
my God, I mean, so ridiculous. And how about Duke?
I love him.
Isn't he awesome?
I love him.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he was even blatantly asked, who and what are you?
Yeah.
And his answer was, even I can't answer that.
Yeah.
And you're going, whoa.
What does that mean? I know.
Like, how is he always exactly where he needs to be when you need him to be there?
Yeah, it's surreal.
How much more does this guy know?
I know.
You know what my thing is? I think that there was that second group they kept talking about. Was it the Commons? It was the Commons, the other research group that Umbrella had worked with.
I can't remember. I don't know.
I think he might be the guy that was running that
Well,
in disguise.
Well, what's this guy doing sitting, in all these buildings going, hey, I'm selling you stuff. It's like so weird, right?
Well, yeah, but if you notice, at certain points throughout the story, like especially after you beat Moreau, and if you've been into Moreau's little lair and he had that unborn mycite thing in the jar,
Yeah.
the next time you see the Duke, he's holding that jar with the thing pulsing in it, going, "Ah, yes, Ethan, sorry, let me put that away." And so throughout the game, he's been grabbing all the stuff that was left behind after
So
you've cleaned the
weird.
house.
It's so weird.
What's he gonna do?
Yeah, it's so weird.
So he's up to something.
What did you think about for item manipulation in your inventory? All I did was keep on upgrading my inventory. to
Every
bigger.
chance I got.
So I never was like, I need to put this. There was no safe, but I'm saying if there was a safe, it was pretty. I kind of like that.
Yes.
That I was having to run back in safe and throw things in. It was just like, here's some money. I built a bigger inventory. I never had a problem with that.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
On my second playthrough, I'm trying to upgrade all of the weapons so that I can unlock the ability to have infinite ammo.
Right.
On all of them.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, once I've played the story, I love the story. I want to re-experience the story, but I also want to just blow things off.
Well, yeah, and let's talk about something. Me and Rob have talked about this. I think what I'm going to bring up is difficulty settings.
Yeah.
Let's talk about difficulty settings. So I play the game on easy all the way through, and I had a really good time. And somebody would be like, "Oh, Johnny, why would you play on easy?" Because I just at that point just want to enjoy the story and have fun, enjoy it, and not get my ass kicked right from the beginning.
And okay, and to that end,
Yeah,
I did the same.
yeah,
My second playthrough, I started trying it on normal.
yeah.
The first werewolf took me out.
Wow.
And I was like, because it was, they're bullet sponges. All they've done is basically the enemies turn into bullet sponges.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't have time for that. I'm sorry, I don't. Now, you want
yeah.
to give me infinite ammo on all the weapons,
Sure.
I'll play it on the hardest difficulty you got. Because I'll
Yeah.
just spam grenades all day long. But
my thing about difficulty setting is video games are meant to be fun.
Yes.
Pick what you want to do. I know some people that start off with the most hardcore.
Yes.
And that's the way they want to do it. And I applaud that. Big time. I think that's awesome. Some people want to do that and they want that challenge and the insanity of that.
Yeah.
That's super fun. And some people play on every difficulty setting and get their super money's worth out of the game. And I applaud that as well. But I also don't think you should shame anybody for what difficulty setting you play on. If that person finished the game and they had fun, who gives a crap?
They're happy. They had a good time.
Who cares?
They bought the game. They've contributed to the success of it.
Yeah. What's the big deal? I mean, we talked about difficulty settings over the years. I always usually will try to pick the easiest difficulty setting in a game. Unless it's like, baby diaper mode. I'm like, well, that's maybe. Well, okay, give me those. No, I just like having a good time, and I played so many games that don't have any difficulty settings. It's like, this is it. And you go, okay, perfect.
You get what you get, and you live with it.
And you live with it, and you just go through it that way and all that. But I want to talk about difficulty settings because I do believe it's frustrating that there is some games that are made nowadays that are way too easy.
Yeah.
Way too easy. Like, you don't have to do anything. Where this game it's fun. I like to enjoy the story. I love the boss. To be honest, when I get to the final boss, I'd used almost all my ammo that I had. Yeah, it's pretty much. I mean, I was unloaded. I was going crazy. I'd used it just a little bit before that. But, I really had fun with the game. And I think however you choose to have fun with it, it's fine.
Yes.
Absolutely
I
fine.
loved the game. I thought the characters were really well realized.
Yeah.
I thought that actually even the voice work was quite well done.
Very good.
I enjoyed that. I loved the dynamic of the different personalities of the four lords, as it were.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to check me on something.
Okay.
Heisenberg.
Yeah.
Was that or was that not basically Nicolas Cage?
A little bit of Helsing in there going on, a little bit of Nick Cage going on.
Like his voice and his mannerisms, full on were Nick Cage to me.
Yeah.
So while I'm playing, I'm like,
yeah. Yeah.
Just kidding.
He was a good, fun character, like over the top and dramatic and all of that, and that was great. And playing against Lady D and all that, she was just creepy and surreal and intense.
She brought that RE2, RE3 Nemesis Tyrant feel because she's constantly stalking you throughout the castle.
And she's so big and it's so surreal that you walk into a room and she's there and she's ducking under the door and going, you're like,
she just unfolds.
Oh, that's weird. I feel very strange. I'm feeling many things. It's strange. I don't know if I'm terrified or I'm absolutely in love. It's like I don't know what to think.
I kept hearing that one little voice clip from Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo. That's one big bitch.
Yeah.
Every time she walked in the room, I'm going.
Yeah. She's a huge, really surreal character. And then, and then her daughters. That was just another whole thing as well. That's weird.
That was crazy.
Yeah, some of those were really cool, eh? They were really awesome.
I also got the achievement called Hooligan.
Which is what?
I broke every breakable window in her castle.
You're kidding me. That's a thing you can do?
Yes, it is.
And there's
and I went even further because any plate, anything that you could break, the jars, the vases, everything. I smashed everything. I was like, fuck your house.
That's crazy.
I smashed all the jars, I shot all the plates, I blew up everything that I could break, smash, destroy, or
and you
wreck.
didn't miss one thing?
Nope. All of it. Wow. But the Hooligan one only applies to the breakable windows.
So how long was your play time in it? Like how long did you spend?
I think my first playthrough was about a little over 20 hours.
I was 10. I did it in one sitting. Can you believe it? I finished the game in one sitting.
Madman.
Every once in a while, I do that.
Well, also, I knew this was going to be a big deal game for me.
Yeah.
And the fact that with my condition and situation right now, I'm home all day.
Yeah.
I did not want to rush through this.
Yeah.
I needed to draw it out as long as, because I was like, I need more.
Dude, I got that game. I sat down. I'm like, ding. And
but it hit you like it did Neil Days, didn't it?
Yeah, we just gun it. And all that. And Kim's like, you know what? Go have fun, do it, type of thing. I'm like, okay. And so I did. Nice. I think the only other Resident Evil game I did that with was Resident Evil Revelations. One sitting. I sat down.
Really?
I did it one go, all the way through. Yeah, and
I think it was only 2 or 3 for me.
What's that?
I think that game was only 2 or 3 sittings for me.
I don't know what it was. I remember I sat down. Kim made cookies in the day.
Nice.
I just did that. That's back in the day. And it was fun. I don't think I've ever done any other Resident Evil games in one sitting. No. 2 was close. 2 was like a few days, I swear to God. Actually, 3 was, I was almost, I think I did
almost
2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a couple of days.
2 we took our time with. Because I remember we were on the phone.
Yeah, switching characters and doing it
every other night, and we were talking. And
I think because Resident Evil 2 was so brand new, you didn't know what you could discover, and there was these walkthroughs and all that the way it is now. So you kind of go through and you're like, oh, what am I going to discover? Switching characters, and sometimes you leave weapons with the other character and all that. That's kind of fascinating. Yeah, that was fun. And so I'm like, so it's like, what are you laughing at?
I learned that the hard way because on the first playthrough of Resident Evil 2, I took everything, and then when I swapped to the second character, I was like, where's all my stuff? Damn it!
Yeah, because we hadn't played a game that had done things that way.
I know.
So it was kind of unique.
Messed with my head. I'm like, I've got nothing.
That's funny.
The tyrant's chasing me around. I'm like,
yeah,
go away.
I definitely liked 8 over 7, and that's not taking anything away from 7.
Absolutely.
I think just the graphics, the characters, there's so much going on in 8 that's so good.
Took everything that was awesome about 7 and improved on it a little. Gave you more of it.
Which is so ridiculous that 7, you're dead. It's that I'm going back to the mold thing.
It's
so nuts.
Like that just popped my wig. It absolutely blew my mind when I found that out.
Yeah.
Because they kept saying, oh, he's so special. Don't you understand why he's special? I'm like, no, why don't you tell me? And then at the end, they're like, this is why. And you go,
what?
My first reaction was, ew. I mean,
yeah, mine was too. I'm like, wait, did it be mold the whole time it was dead in 7? What? I'm like, okay. And I'm like, is this all over now? Like, what's happening? What's going to happen now?
Well, and actually, that raises another question, because when you killed Eve at the end of 7, all the molded that were around died.
Yeah. His was hanging for a bit. I don't know.
Why didn't
he had a little bit more time to go.
Because he was one of those special mold.
He's a special mold guy.
He didn't turn into one of those big lumpy things that was in the basement.
Oh, jeepers.
Yeah. He stayed human. So obviously he was a advanced state molded.
Yeah.
Molded.
I know. Yeah, I'm just thinking back to the game. Anything else? I mean, it's so strange that umbrella symbol that was there as well.
Well, that's where I'm talking about the lore, the history, because that symbol was there before Umbrella Corp. Again, with all the notes.
Yeah.
There were two geneticists that were working together that discovered that together.
Yeah.
And then the one of them went on to make, I think they were called the Commons. They correct me if I'm wrong, and I know people will. And then the other group that became Umbrella.
Yeah.
Who was like, I've taken what you've been doing and I like that idea, but I'm going to do more viral than mold.
Yeah.
And we're going to do it over here, and I'm going to name the company after that symbol you found.
Yeah.
Cool. But now, so what is the actual origin and history of that symbol, and why is it tied to all of these genetic aberrations?
I know.
That's what
it was so weird when you're getting your daughter and you're putting her in the thing, and all of a sudden you're like taking things. It's like, what is going on? Oh, the puzzles were weird.
How messed up did you feel with that first one after you kill Lady Dimitrescu and you go and talk to the Duke, and he's like, why, it seems you've got your daughter in your hands. And you're going...
I know, and being a father now, and I'm just like, that's really weird.
That's
fudged.
Yes, that is absolutely a mess, man.
That's a mess.
You're just going...
And then I'm like, okay, I will go collect the other pieces. It's just really weird.
At least they pointed out that she was converted to crystal before. So it was kind of like...
Yeah. I thought we were going to go for an Akira moment there or something. Well, yeah, with all the different parts of Akira and different jars and things and all that. God damn it.
Well, thankfully, we didn't go quite that far.
Okay, we've been going on for a while. Is there anything else that you want to say about this little game called Resident Evil VIII? It's a little game. Tiny game.
You know what? I think we've covered... I feel like, yeah, I mean, we discussed, I mean, the flow was perfect, the lore was incredible, deep and twisted. There's plenty of secrets to find.
Yeah.
So there's lots of replay value as well for those of us like me that want to unlock all of the, like, unlimited ammo weapons and all that.
Yeah.
You know, there's always another thing hidden somewhere.
Yeah, I wonder if there's going to be any DLC, like expansions, kind of like they did with 7. I will jump into.
If they have them,
yeah.
I will play them.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I still want another game with the other baker, the redneck guy that eats the bugs and punches everything.
I know.
I want more. I just want to run around punching things.
I know.
Can someone please make a DLC where you get to go through the village as him? Please. You just punch everything.
You're just beating the hell out of werewolves, smashing their faces.
No, you shut up, you. I don't like you.
Oh, my God.
Punching Lady Dimitrescu in the knees, you know?
Yeah, I think 8 really lived up to expectations. I think it's really... I'm really happy in the end of the day. I was really, I was like, yeah, we're going okay. To be honest with you, I knew going in it was going to be good. And it was.
Yep.
And all of that. So if anybody's been on the fence and listening to all these spoilers, playing the game is the way to experience it. I don't even think even hearing all the spoilers is going to
No, because the game itself is such a great ride.
It's such a great ride.
So awesome.
And it's one of those things I'll look back on that 10-hour play session and go, God, I had a fun time.
Oh, yeah.
And it also made it feel good that for me, I know you got you brought your version here, the Xbox version.
Yes.
I got the PS5 version. And it just felt like, oh, good, these are next-gen games.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
It made you feel good about purchasing a Series X and a PS5.
Yes.
Because, oh, my God, I played on the PS5. I was like, oh, my God.
The graphics were so stupidly beautiful.
Stupidly beautiful. And we're not going to, 1080p shame anybody who's playing next-generation systems on 1080p TVs, because I know there's a lot of people doing that. But, my God, when you play on like a really good
you get an HDR 4K TV
that we have, I mean, it's unbelievable. It's like we've always referred to this, what's the term?
Window to another world. And it is.
It is.
Like, there were times where it felt like I could have just reached into the TV.
Especially with the textures and stuff.
Oh, my God. Walls and the slick.
The black levels are really black. It's like really nice.
I spent 5 minutes staring at one of the torches with the flickering flames because of how beautiful it looked.
Yeah.
And then watching the reflection of the light on the wall.
Yeah.
And when they were slick with water, there was like that sort of shiny reflections.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
So beautiful.
I know. You know, honestly, we could keep going on.
I can gush about this for days.
Like I always want to say, like, who built all those things in the industry facility that has all of the what would you even call them?
Oh, those mechanized zombies?
It's mechanized zombies. Like, who's making them, and why are they coming out by the hundreds?
Well, that was Heisenberg.
Yeah,
because he wanted to kill.
Yeah, but I'm saying like a facility like this to create it. It's fun to play in it. It's like so many games like you play like the Uncharted series, and you're running around this clock tower built into a mountain, and you're like, who made this? That's the kind of thing I have when I see this. Is like, who made it? Like who actually would build this? It's ridiculous. Well, but it's fun to play in.
And what I loved also was that there was, when you go for the stronghold, there's a note that talks about, I mean, and we're talking, it's from medieval time.
Yeah.
The king has told us to withdraw from this territory because it is too dangerous, but we found these ruins with this strange symbol in it. I'm going, so this dates back to before medieval times. Oh man, the amount of lore. Plus the fact that if they really wanted to, they could make games set back in medieval times with this stuff.
That'd be so weird.
I mean,
could you imagine?
You imagine a Resident Evil type game where you're in armor with swords and melee combat.
And there's zombies.
And crossbows and stuff, and zombies. And that would be awesome!
Maybe they're looking at, who knows what they're going to do. That's interesting.
The possibilities for these guys are endless.
It really is.
I mean, they've left it so wide open.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm getting goosebumps. I'm so
excited. I think the future of Resident Evil is very bright.
Yes.
And never mind, like, we should be very dark. It's very bright. I mean, what they're doing is they're going in the right directions.
They're using so much creativity and so much imagination in it. And I love it. Please, guys, keep that up. Keep that up.
Oh, I think so.
Keep working on this.
I think so.
It's so good.
And give us goddamn Code Veronica.
Yes, I want a Code Veronica remake.
Oh, God.
CVXR. Code Veronica X remake.
That'd be good. Anyways, we're going to go. I think we're losing our voices. I know I'm definitely losing mine here. For sure. So, anyways, guys, until next time.